May I ask you, how do they quantify Thibaut Courtois playing against his former club at Stamford Bridge, the fans giving him a load of stick, him having a major moment, and he suddenly gifts the ball to Kai Havertz who slots it home? Put that into your stat calculator.
Yes, people, Stevo the Madman here. Welcome to In Defence Of, brought to you by Joe. Now, stepping up to the away end with a football topic he feels passionate about is a good friend of mine this week. You might have seen him on the True Geordie kickoff. You might have heard him on TalkSport. But I know him as the mouthy little Chelsea fan. It's my friend, Rory Jennings!
Hey, what an intro. I'm honoured. Yeah, absolutely.
You're a little bit mouthy. I don't think you are, but people would say that.
A little bit mouthy, a little bit small. There were no lies in the intro. I rate the intro. It was just delivered perfect.
What are you thinking of the set, bro?
You've got such... Stevo, you are raising the level of YouTube. This is an incredible setup.
I'm trying, bro. I'm trying. How you been, though?
Things are good. Things are really good, yeah. My football team are sort of all over the place, but brilliant at the same time. Feeling quite optimistic.
But Rory, you're obviously here in the In Defence Of gaff. What have you come to debate today?
Well, I don't think that this is going to be at all controversial. I think that we're going to have a really easy day here. I am saying something that I believe is true, it's fair, it's just, it's accurate. Chelsea are going to become the first English club to retain the Champions League in its current format. Yes, I know Nottingham Forest have done it before, but not in its current guise.
Come ready. And you truly believe that?
I don't see why not, Steve. I really don't. I think that Chelsea are a sensational team with a proven track record for winning, and recent events have galvanised that side.
Well, I think recent events might be the reason why it's definitely out the window now.
See, this is because you're a glass half empty kind of guy. I'm a glass half full man. I find the positive. I accentuate the positive. And I think that what's going on at Chelsea at the moment, look, it's distracting, but even you must concede, who doesn't have a love for Chelsea, you must concede that what's going on off the pitch isn't having any sort of detrimental impact on it. And you look at the way that Thomas Tuchel has conducted himself, it's been exemplary. And I think that there's something special could be happening.
Can I pause you?
You may.
Because we get up to 60 seconds to step up to the podium to sort of throw out our points that we're going to be arguing about over here or debating over here. We'll hash it out when we get back. But yeah, you get up to 60 seconds to sort of let me know what you're going to bring to the argument. So yeah, before you carry on, get out there and let's go, because this is going to be interesting, mate.
So Chelsea are going to win the European Cup, and here is for why. Chelsea are the current holders of the European Cup and therefore need to be given the respect that they deserve. We are the holders. That means that we can certainly win it again. We have a proven track record of success in European competition. We've already beaten Villarreal to the Super Cup this year and are the current world champions. That is significant. The history of Chelsea Football Club. Over the past 2 decades, Chelsea have a proven track record of accruing silverware. Chelsea are winners. This team are winners. Our manager is a winner. That is significant. Something else to bear in mind. I believe that the main challengers for the European Cup this year comes from these shores. Liverpool, Man City are the main challengers, and both, they're a little bit busy, aren't they? They've got some other things going on. And, as we've seen with Arsenal, when you've got one thing to focus on, it can really be beneficial to you. Chelsea's season now revolves around winning the European Cup in Paris. For that reason, I think that we are very significant. And don't forget the team. Tuchel is a king.
Rory, my friend, you make some great points. This is why I invited you on the show. But here's why I think you are wrong. Start the clock. The history. Do you know how many great teams have tried to win and retain the Champions League? In fact, the great team, the great Manchester United team of 07, 08, 09, the team they tell me is one of the greatest Premier League teams of all time, they couldn't retain it. The only team of recent time that has retained it is the Zidane team, but they had to sacrifice the league for that. Then there's the turmoil that is going on at Chelsea now. Chelsea 2022 is a place I would not want to be. In fact, Lukaku doesn't want to be there. Rudiger doesn't want to be there. Your best centre-back is 37 years old, bro. It's kind of mental. In fact, I won't even mention Tino Werner here. Then there's the other teams that are still in the competition. Great teams. Bayern Munich. Man City, who got to the final last year, they're going to have a point to prove. Then there's the great Liverpool team with the great Mo Salah. Bro, you have a lot to do, and I don't think Chelsea are going to do it, but I would love to hear why you think they will. Let's talk about it. The Pep Barcelona team that dominated Europe, right? They dominated Europe. They won it. I think they won it a couple of times, but just never in a row. caned up the Spanish league. Same as the AC Milan team that Liverpool ended up beating in Istanbul. Great team. The Real Madrid team, Galactico with Beckham, Zidane, R9. All these teams I'm naming couldn't retain the Champions League. What makes you think that this Chelsea team's good enough to do it, bruv?
I think part of the reason you can make an argument...
Werner in the team as well. Sorry, it's just mental.
But part of the reason you can argue that Chelsea are likely to do it is because of the anomalies that you've just said. The fact that you've described various teams that were truly brilliant and probably the best for an era didn't retain it would suggest that somebody else often crashes a party.
OK.
So you are right. But the Barcelona team, they had an era. They didn't retain it, but they had an era.
Yes.
And, you know, they won it in Rome against Manchester United. They won it in Wembley against Manchester United, but there was an anomaly in between. Chelsea, this year, I believe, we are our own anomaly. We are the left field choice. We are the outsider. When you think about the way that the trajectory that the club is going on, when you think about the run that we've been on since this news broke, there is a true determination among these players, and I think that we can do it. And yes, you are of course right. There is an unlikely element to it, but that is football. That is football in its purest form. If you distill the essence of football, what is it? It's I can't believe what I've just seen.
And you said something there about what Chelsea are going through now, which brings me on to, I think, my next point. And I think we need to talk about Chelsea 2022. Now, the squad, the catastrophe, what's going on around the squad, your chairman, the owner, all of this, for me, that makes it more difficult. The stuff that's going on at Chelsea now is going to galvanise you lot to push on. I think it's going to hinder you, mate, to be honest with you. Massively. Chelsea, unfortunately, just like a lot of other teams, a lot of great teams, they will not retain the Champions League, but it's too hard, especially in modern day football. You don't get the chance. I'm saying, like, they're going for leagues, they're going to try and stay in the top four. It's too tough, mate. It's too tough to get a grip, whether it be your league, whether it be the Champions League. That's why Zidane doing what he done, he had to sacrifice the league. You've got to sacrifice something.
If you look at the squad's good enough to win it. You know, it may not be the strongest squad in the tournament, but the squad is certainly strong enough to win it. So then it comes down to other factors. It comes down to, are we likely to get to a final? Are we likely to make it to a final? Because in a final, anything happens, right? You're going to be in Paris, it's going to be noise galore, the eyes of the world, and then it's anyone's.
I want to talk about the other great team still in the competition. Man City.
Whoa. Great team.
Bro, they got to the final last year.
No, but we're talking in...
They've been leaps and bounds above Chelsea for years as a club.
No, I can't do this. I can't. I think this is actually...
Pep was brought into Man City only to win the Champions League. Every year, he's getting closer and closer.
We're talking about European... This whole conversation is being held in a European context. Manchester City have no place in this conversation. We're better off talking about Marseille and Partizan Belgrade. Manchester City are not European royalty. Whoa. They are not a threat in Europe. Until they are a threat in Europe, they're not a threat. And Manchester City in Europe will be completely disregarded by me until they prove me wrong. Until they do something significant in Europe, for me, it's always going to be Uwe Rosler and Georgie Kinkladze. That's all they are in Europe. They are not...
They got to the final last year, so they're going to be extra motivation this year, surely. Do you agree with that?
Tottenham Hotspur have been to a final. Is that significant?
It's true.
Manchester City are European nobodies. They are completely insignificant in Europe.
Big up Steven.
They are completely insignificant in Europe. So with regard to City, any challenge that they want to bring our way, I'm completely up for it, because I believe that Pep Guardiola has proven time and time again that he will make a massive ricket in the European competition.
So talking of European pedigree, a team that, as I say, you could meet in the final is Liverpool. Still in the competition.
Now this is
firing. Top marksman in Mo Salah. You know what I mean? They've got a team. When I say team, that are all just gelling and intertwining.
So when you're comparing,
team.
This is blazing squad. You flip reverse everything I've just said. Now you've gone from Manchester City, completely insignificant, irrelevant, and nobody in Europe, to true royalty.
Yeah.
You talk about Liverpool in Europe, the way that you talk about AC Milan, the way that you talk about Real Madrid, and the way that you talk about the recent Barcelona side. Like, that's who Liverpool are, and that's the prestige.
And this great Liverpool team, by the way, still couldn't retain.
No,
imagine that.
No,
that's how hard it is.
But they did win the league, didn't they? They went
different competition.
No, but just again, this
they won Champions League, then they won the league the next year.
But they also got to the Champions League final consecutively.
Yes.
So it can, they were a Rizzler paper away,
achievement,
and they would have won it if Salah's shoulder didn't get injured in Kiev. Do you remember? So it can be done. They could have won that. It's circumstance. Liverpool terrify me. And if Chelsea were
always context when you lose.
If Chelsea were potentially going to have to play Liverpool over 2 legs, so that would mean Chelsea going to Anfield, I probably wouldn't be sitting here telling you that Chelsea are going to win the Champions League. But because we are very fortunate that firstly we may not even play Liverpool. You know, Liverpool have their own route to navigate. Yeah. So if we're lucky, we won't even have to play them. And if we do have to play them, it will be a one-off game in Paris. And Chelsea have proven that in a one-off game, we can turn it on.
Bayern Munich, Lewandowski.
Yeah.
Kingsley Coman, like Sir Gnabry, like they've got a great team of great players on form, got pedigree. I'm giving you everything you've said. Yeah. They've got Champions League pedigree. I'm saying on Bayern Munich, bro. Liverpool can't be the only team you're scared of,
Liverpool
bro.
the only team. I actually think Liverpool will make light work of Bayern. I do, honestly. I think Liverpool will make light work of Bayern.
I don't know.
They will.
So we mentioned City, Bayern Munich, Liverpool. But I think on the outskirts, talking of heart, you mentioned heart earlier. You can't buy heart, or Mr. King of Hearts, Diego Simeone with Atletico Madrid, bro.
Yeah.
I think they're always that team as well that they throw a little spanner into the works as well. So they're there or thereabouts as well, bruv.
Chelsea have a very proud record against Atletico. Like we went to Madrid fairly recently, and not a particularly good Chelsea team. We went to Madrid and we beat them away. We went to the Wanda. And we beat them. Michy Batshuayi scored in the last minute. Yes. So we've overcome. I think Griezmann was up front for them that day as well, scored a penalty. But we've overcome Atletico in the past. And with regard to how good they are, by the way, you mentioned Simeone, somebody that I hold in truly serious esteem. I think he's sensational, dazzling manager. But did you watch that game against Manchester United?
Yeah, it was not great.
Manchester United got a draw away from home. Manchester United are abysmal.
Terrible.
Manchester United could have knocked out Atletico. Things have gone slightly differently. They could have knocked them out. And if Harry Maguire wasn't making such a plethora of errors, it could have been a different story.
Well, it's funny you said that, because the Boffins at 5.38, they've given you 9% chance of winning the Champions League overall. So they give you 53% chance to beat Real Madrid, which makes you favourite, obviously. And then after that, I think I read it was 22% chance of beating. You've got either a City or Atletico. And then in the final, which you'd have Bayern Munich or Liverpool, they're giving you 9% chance. So out of 8 teams, they're only giving you 9% chance. So
full credit to the boys at 5.38 that have done that. May I ask you, how do they quantify Thibaut Courtois playing against his former club at Stamford Bridge, the fans giving him a load of stick, him having a major moment, and he suddenly gifts the ball to Kai Havertz, who slots it home? Put that into your stat calculator.
This guy is a fantasy football raw, that's what I'm going to call him now. But you're not wrong.
I think Chelsea will beat Madrid. I think there is a vulnerability to that Madrid team. There is a genuine vulnerability. They lost the Sheriff in their group.
Yeah, it's true.
They lost the Sheriff at the Bernabeu in their group. Like, that's unacceptable.
Beat Madrid, beat Paris, though. A good Paris team.
Beating Paris Saint-Germain in Europe. It's like, in other news, water is wet.
Roz, you gave me a lot to think about, and I'll be honest with you, I thought, no way. When you first said, I was like, bruv, with everything what's going on, Chelsea 2022, no way. No way. Players want to be gone, all of that. Manager, I think, could probably end up at Man United. I really do believe that. I didn't mention that, but I do believe that. But listening to you and the points that you've brought across, I think they'll get close, and I think purely because I think the City, Liverpool, they're going to be trying to go for the league. So I think they might turn a blind eye to it, man. But thank you for coming down. But unfortunately, you have not changed my mind. You can take a hike, mate. Get some hiking boots on and take a hike, bruv. It's really hard, Roars, man.
I've lost.
Well, it's not about losing. You've
came here with an ambition of convincing you, and I've failed.
As I say, with everything that's going on with Chelsea, bruv, you're lucky to sign Aspilicueta, bruv, on an extension. You should be happy with that, bruv. Thanks for coming down.
Mate, it was an honour. Thanks for having me, man.
Woo! Rory Jennings. If you agree with Rory and you think Chelsea will retain it, leave an answer in the comments. If you agree with me and you think they won't, and you think maybe Bayern Munich or Liverpool have more of a chance, then also leave your answer in the comments. As always, this has been In Defence Of with me, Stevo the Madman, brought to you by Joe. Until next time,